Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. I have my Godfather voice, and no, Ron Wong is not here. He is sick. John Gordon forgot. And so it's me and Shelby McCall doing as we've done 2 years now. She's been the show producer. I'm glad that you actually heard her voice on the last segment. I know that she is a person here. And I want to talk a little fishing today. March the 14th, early on this Saturday morning, still dark. I cannot get over daylight savings time. I will never again have a wild game dinner on the night before daylight savings time starts. It was a killer because that was the fastest hour I've ever seen. But
food was good, right?
The food was really good, and the speaker was really good. But gave away a lot of prizes and things. But who best to talk about what's going on, particularly at Kentucky Lake, is our good friend Steve McCadams. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Larry. Good to be with you again.
Let's talk first, Steve, about the recent event and the tragedy, that all of us felt it. And that's not like any sport out there. We may have events like this, but when it affects youngsters and it affects fishing as kids and things along that line, that's the apparent loss of 3 lives. Two have been found as this date. Fishing on the Tennessee River. And I know you have had a lot of input on young fishermen and things along that line, but you can't put more emphasis on safety, right?
That's true, Larry. It's a tragic situation. It's affected all the fishermen on Kentucky Lake and all over the region, and we feel for the families. Every fisherman has, felt a strange situation out there lately. I mean, it's been a big black cloud over it. But life goes on, and now they have found a third fisherman, I might inform you, since I just recently heard that information. So all 3 have now been found. So that puts
that gives the family a little closure, but it's also, and I believe, as long you've been doing it a long time, I have too, that it gave the sport. A lot of people are able to see and came together. Like the tornadoes in Nashville that came together. I've never, it was an amazing how many people showed up in boats and the TWRA, of course, and that doesn't really surprise me, does it you?
No, it really doesn't. We even have rescue squads here in Henry County, the Paris area, going down to the Pickwick area. So that's right. Everybody banded together and tried to help each other out.
Well,
and no, it doesn't surprise me at all. You're right.
All right. Well, now we've banded together here, you and I. I mean, how many duck bands you got?
Oh, good question. I've got 2 lanyards full, and I've got a lot of sunrises for me to acquire that many. I've probably got 80 to 100, but man, that's a lot of sunrises. I'm telling you, I have been from Canada to Louisiana, getting them in every state just about along the flyway, and always like to get a few more. But boy, it could tell a lot of stories on bands if they talk.
Yeah, well, at least you came right out with it like that, because it still means something to you, just like me.
It really does.
Even that. And quickly before we talk about fishing and all the rain we've had and everything else, the duck season. I don't know if I haven't had a chance to really talk to you since it closed at the end of January. It was one of those weird years, wasn't it?
It was. It was poor for me and most of the waterfowling community. There were some exceptions and bright spots, as there always are, for a few select people. But across the region, it was really tough. We just didn't have the weather, and we didn't have the ducks down south. Number one, we had warm and wet. You get those 2 combinations, that's a double whammy, and that's what we had last year. And here it came back again this year. And refuge counts along the flyway area showed that numbers were down, and it was just really, really tough around this region. You got around the Mississippi River, some of the hunters did okay. When you got east of it, back in our direction, it was terrible.
And terrible, would you say one of the worst in your career?
Yeah, it definitely was. For me,
okay.
And most of my contacts, one of the worst.
And that's hard on you, and that's hard on your clients too, and because you can't guarantee it. This is duck hunters are the most optimistic and everything. Well, talk about fishing now, Steve. I know you put out a great report. I know it takes a lot of effort to do that and everything. We've had, man, we're 5 inches above normal already in Memphis here with more rain this weekend. What's going on fishing wise at Kentucky Lake?
Well, actually, we're pretty good shape on Kentucky Lake as far as lake levels go. TVA has really been pushing a lot of water, so we're at normal lake level here now, which is winter pool for us, and a lot of people call it low water, but TVA always draws the reservoirs down for storage capacity. So Kentucky Lake is down at 354.4, I think, right now, somewhere in that range. But we're good. We're not above normal here, and the weather has not been too bad lately. It's the typical March where you got windy one day, calm the next, sunny.
Yeah.
I tell everyone when they're coming fishing in March, bring your overcoat and your sunscreen. You don't know which one you'll need. And that's pretty much the whole crew here lately. We got spring right on the doorstep coming up next Thursday, I believe.
That's
the
right.
Official start of spring.
Yeah.
And we've had some great warm weather. Our surface temperatures are climbing, 53-degree range, and maybe warmer than that by next week. And the Bradford pears are blooming. The buttercup yellow.
You don't have to tell me that.
Spring,
you don't have to tell me that. My nose tells me that.
Crappie's been scattered here. We're catching some fish, but they're pretty scattered. You're not hearing about a lot of limits being taken, but some good-sized fish are being taken in deep water right now. And it's still pre-spring, pre-spawn, and the fish will move a lot. These next week to 10 days, you'll see a lot of movement in the crappie as they begin to stair-step up towards spawning territory, and that's what's happening now. Each day the surface temperature gets warmer, they'll move up more. So a lot of transition taking place.
So, at the spawn, when does the spawn start? I mean, what do you?
Well, generally speaking, here the first couple of weeks of April.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay.
Surface temperatures need to be in the 62 to 66 degree range, and of course, we're not there yet. And that will happen on the next week's 10 days. You'll see a lot of things taking place. So, generally speaking, the first 10 days, Draper, you'll see the peak of it.
All right, you got any openings?
Oh, a few scattered dates, I do. I do. You come see me. For somebody like you, I always got an opening. So you bring your cane pole and come on.
And my straw hat.
I'll put you on I got a 5-gallon bucket you can sit on up here on the back, and I'll show you a good spot.
Oh, I know you. You've showed me some good spots before. You won't leave me on a cypress stump like Jim Perry.
I will not.
You will not.
I will not.
I
will not leave you out there.
You won't do that. So how do folks get in touch with you?
Best way to reach me is through my website at stevemcadams.com or in a phone book here in Paris, Tennessee. But email is the best thing for me because I can send messages back and forth at crazy hours and answer in detail. And
you can go to lroutdoors.com, click on the homepage under reports, and there is Steve's report. And you can see all the latest information. We'll tell you how to get in touch with him also on lroutdoors.com. Because I know that it comes time, and I've asked you this before. Do you like the spring or the fall better? I mean, what's your?
Well, I've always get spring fever this time of the year.
I thought you did.
In terms of predictability, fall fishing is a little more stable. You got stability in weather and lake levels, and you don't get cold fronts and crazy wind. Wind is just a culprit, for fishermen. And this time of year, you don't know if you'll get your hat blown off or it's going to be calm. So that's just typical March weather.
Well, they call it, that's where the winds are. They do that and everything. Steve, thank you, buddy, for being with us and everything, and we'll stay in touch. And, yes, I do need to get up there. I'll let you know.
I hope you will.
Yeah, maybe we can fish for 15, 20 minutes sometime, okay? So.
Oh, buddy, you come anytime. Glad to have you.
All right. Thanks, Steve. All right.
Thank you.
Steve McCadams. He's the better now. Over 50 years, I don't know. He's been guiding up there at Kentucky Lake, and this weather has been really been hard on all of us with allergies and things along that line. And of course, with things going on in the world as they are right now, there's much concern and things along that line. Now's the time to take a fishing trip. Turkey season is coming. It's already here in Mississippi, which I think is too early, but it does. But don't forget, next week's show, it is it. I told Shelby to be sure and wear earplugs because we will be talking turkey next week. It's our all-turkey show. Already lined up some great folks that we'll talk about a little bit later in the show, but it's that unpredictable weather, but with and I'm only going to mention this one time, the coronavirus going around, the seriousness of it and all the canceled events and everything, it has not canceled fishing, and it will not cancel the turkey season. So get outdoors. This is your time. Spend some time with your family if you can, if you're not in quarantine, but spend some time with it, and check out Steve McCadams, because the man has been guiding for over 50 years, as I said, and you can reach him. Now, that McCadams is tricks a lot of folks. It's MC, capital C-A-D-A-M-S. That's right, Steve McCadams. We pronounce it McCadams, but that's the way it is. MC, capital C-A-D-A-M-S, Steve McCadams. And we always have him on once a month at least, gives us those fishing reports. And we got them all on lrindulge.com. I was kind of surprised how many fishing reports that we're able to produce on there, whether it's Claggett over at Pickwick Lake, or it's John Berry up at the White River. And starting today, once a month, we're going to be talking to Jay Gudermuth, the guide on the Little Red River out of Lindsay's Resort. So we're going to start giving you a lot of fishing information because it's that time of the year that you want to get away and you want to spend some time outdoors, you have a chance. Well, right now I'm going to announce who won our Pick the Classic champion. Okay, I know we got Hank Cherry coming up. I might just, I think I'll just wait and mention who won. No, I don't want Hank to know that only one person out of over 50 picked him, because I should have picked him, but I went with John Cruz. He finished way up there. John did. A lot of folks out there went with Cody Huff, our local kid. In fact, 4 went for him, but one person, I can't believe just one person selected Hank Cherry. And I'll go ahead and tell you right now. I'm in a telling mood right now. I'm all by myself here. Lawrence Taylor, our good friend Lawrence Taylor, who used to be at Pradco for many, many years. He's now the PR man for the Daisy BB gun folks up at Rogers. Well, Lawrence, you're open to we got a lot of entries from around the Mid-South and other places. And Lawrence, he came up with a prediction. He predicted that Hank Cherry would win. Now, he picked it a little bit high on the weight, but he's going to win that Lose and Strike King gift pack. Already informed Mark Copley of Lose and Strike King that Lawrence won, and a lot of you folks are probably toting around right now a BB gun from Daisy up in Rogers, Arkansas, that Lawrence has donated to not only this show, but to Wild Game Dinners. I gave away 2 of them last Saturday night at my church, Bartlett Hills Baptist Church, and he picked it. And when I informed him of it, he couldn't believe it. He could not believe that he had won, but he did. There were some close ones, but he got picked. And so Lawrence Taylor is the winner of our. I'm not sure what it is. He said it on the show. He added something, Shelby. We have it on record that he said, I'm going to throw in something. I can't remember what it is. Yeah, well,
I can't remember what it was.
I can't remember, but he added to the prize that we're going to get. So Lawrence Taylor is the winner of that. And we had anything. There you go. We should have got Lawrence on the phone and let him know he won. But we had anywhere from 35 pounds to 77 pounds, the winning weight. Well, we know that Hank Cherry, I keep wanting to call him Doug because we do have a Doug Cherry, on this show a lot, Crappie Man up in Halls, Tennessee. But Hank had 65.5, but anyway, it didn't matter because Lawrence Taylor selected Hank Cherry. I went with John Cruz. If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember who Ron Wong went with, or I don't think, well, of course, they're going to pick a Strike King guy for sure, and so Mark Copley did not have that anyway. So we're going to take a break here in just a few minutes, come back and switch to dogs. I love to talk to this guy's coming up, Gary Lester. He's the owner-handler of the 2020 National Bird Dog Champion Miller's Speed Dial, and that's number 5 for Gary Lester. 5 times.
Wow.
121 years they've been doing this. I don't know if anybody, I'm sure they have, but he's won 5 times, and most of them all within the last decade. And I think that's 3 out of the last 4 or something along that line. So we're going to talk to Gary. I always like to talk about. Do you have a dog?
My family has dogs.
What kind of dogs?
Our first dog was a pug.
A pug, okay.
Our second dog was a rescue, and he was a mutt.
A pug and a mutt, okay.
And our third dog, he's also a pug, but we think he's like mixed with a Chihuahua or something. So
a pug and a Chihuahua.
Yeah.
So what would we call him?
Pugawa? I don't know.
No, his name.
Oh, his name? His name is Jupiter.
Pugwawa. What did you say?
Pugwaha? I don't know.
That's a Chihuahua and a pug. And his name is Jupiter?
His name's Jupiter.
How in the world did you get a dog named Jupiter? Are the other dogs named after planets too?
It's a long story.
Okay. Your other two dogs were what? Pluto and...
Apollo and Zeus.
So they were kind of mythology type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what does your dad do?
He is a judge.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. But that's the way it works out,
yeah,
right?
That's the way it works.
All right. All right, let's take a break, okay?
All right.
We'll come right back. Shelby McCall is keeping me calm here. It's Outdoors with Larry Ray as we roll along. We're going to hook up with Gary Lester out of Kentucky on Outdoors with Larry Ray.